Legendary US cyclist Lance Armstrong has announced that he is not going to fight drug charges filed against him by the US anti-doping agency. Armstrong's decision could now lead to a lifetime ban from cycling and the loss of his Tour de France titles. The USADA have alleged that Lance Armstrong has used banned substances since 1996. Shantanu now joins me on the phone line. Shantanu, this in effect does mean that he loses all his 7 Tour de France titles.
Yeah, absolutely, Nupur. Basically, the US anti-doping agency charged him with doping and trafficking of drugs in June this year, based on his blood samples in 2009 and 2010 and testimonies from other cyclists. And Lance Armstrong was basically fighting these charges in a US court. And just a few days back, the judge threw out his petition, and the deadline was today, that is on Friday, and he has decided not to fight any of these charges anymore. So that could mean that all his 7 Tour de France titles, his bronze medal in the Sydney Olympic Games, and the rest of his titles could be stripped. And this is really, really very big news for a cycling legend who has won a record 7 Tour de France titles, and also somebody who's been quite inspiration to other athletes because he came back from testicular cancer and later on won the Tour de France. He has been accused in the past of doping and actually trafficking drugs among the circuit, but nothing was proved against him. But now the US anti-doping agency seems to have got a headway into this whole story, and it looks quite bad for Lance Armstrong now, because even though the International Cycling Association may fight this case in the court of arbitration, but things don't look too good for the cycling legend.
Right now, Shantanu, of course, the charges leveled against him have been extremely serious. He has been accused of using banned substances as far back as 1996. Now, those, of course, include the blood booster, EPO, steroid and blood transfusions. As you were saying, none of the charges earlier have been proved, but this time it does seem to be decisive.
Yes, absolutely, because the specific charges, basically they've taken blood samples from 2009 and 2010, and even though Armstrong has continually maintained that he's been innocent, he has just decided, he's come out with quite a statement where he said that there comes a point in every man's life when he's had enough, and he says this whole thing has taken a toll on his family and on his work for his foundation. But he really doesn't want to fight on, so he seems quite dejected with the whole thing. But I think the USD has quite a strong case against him. Otherwise, he wouldn't have given up so easily.
Right, Shantanu, thanks very much for joining us. Of course, what boosts the case against Armstrong is the fact that 10 of his former teammates say they are prepared to testify against him.